Welcome to Grace Over Grit and Growth, the podcast where we celebrate women's journeys and empower each other to thrive in our personal lives, career, and businesses. We're two passionate women that want to connect and inspire others in our community. My name is Lita Anderson.
And I'm Monique Fisher.
And if you had the pleasure of being with us last episode,
Yes.
Monique left us on a cliffhanger. I want to hear about this lady. I've never heard about her before. So we were talking in regards to grace,
Yes.
and we're talking about finding your tribe. So you gotta let us know.
I gotta tell you kind of what happened.
What happened?
Well, I'm still married, so it's not
right.
It's not bad. And knowing how I grew up, if something had jumped off, then I probably wouldn't still be married. But as you know, I don't know if you know, I met my husband at Bell Laboratories.
I did know that.
Okay, so I met him and we got married. And in his field, he was a software engineer as well. He had a really good friend, and she was about 12 to 13 years older than us.
Okay.
But she really guided us. She thought that we was just the cutest little couple trying to make it and do things. And she was a great mentor to us.
Okay.
So we finally decided we wanted to buy a house.
Mm-hmm.
And we really didn't know anything about the process. Our parents had bought houses many, many years ago. Mm-hmm. Things changed. We had a realtor who would take us out. Now you talk about steering. He would say things like, I'm like, why are we looking at this little tiny town home over here in Woodridge with 30 cars in the parking lot that look crazy? I'm like, this is not what I told you. Oh, but your community is here. He actually said that.
Oh, really?
Us. Yeah, your community is here.
Oh.
I said, okay. I don't think you really know who my community is. But anyway, so we finally, in Bolingbrook, we saw new construction.
Mm-hmm.
And we went in and talked. And it was just so overwhelming. And so we were telling our friend about it. And she said, what do you need? So we said, well, we're just starting this journey. We're saving. We have so much saved. We're very transparent in what we had saved. And she said, that's not going to be enough. She said, this is what we're going to do. She gave us $5,000 to sit in our account for 3 months to show that we had savings. We had good jobs, we had good credit, but we didn't have the money complete about savings. And this was 1992, trying to buy a house, build a house. Yeah, we had to dot all our I's and cross all our T's.
Definitely.
So she let that money, loaned us that money to sit in our account so that we could get a house.
That's wonderful.
And so that's another lesson in grace. This is somebody that he knew, we got to be friends as well.
Right.
But I had never had anybody be that. Just like, let me help you.
Let me make sure that you're okay.
And that's when I learned about the importance of having good people surround you.
Yes.
Having mentors.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is what we're put on this earth for, to serve and to help people. And if you're truly a Christian and you truly have faith, right, you want to see your brothers and sisters succeed.
Yes.
Just as much as you do.
And their success does not impede yours.
It does not impede mine.
Right.
Because your path is different. The way you go about it is different.
Yep.
And we should share in each other.
We should.
So that was the lady in my husband's life that she really was.
See, I thought you were going to have to hurt somebody.
No,
I
would have hurt George before I hurt her. Now, you know that. And so she ain't had no commitment to me. I would have checked him. But I digress as you learn more about who I am.
That is awesome. That is awesome. I'll say this. Your tribe does matter. And sometimes for good and sometimes for bad. Meaning, I can think of plenty of times where, how sometimes you're just in something, so you see it the way that you see it because your feelings are tied into it, or somebody said something to you crazy and it was just the last straw and you're tired. You're like, this is it. Like, no, you call your good girlfriend or whomever to vent or to talk to it. And they're like, Yeah, they were wrong, but
But
you know what? We just let this be and know who they. You now see who they are,
you see who they are.
and just count that as a lesson. One of the things I never understood as a kid, that my dad would sometimes say, and he said that his grandma, my dad was raised by his grandparents, and his grandparents would tell him, is that if you leave this earth with one true friend, you lucky. And I'm
Mm,
like, what do you mean? I got lots of
yeah.
friends. Like, what's wrong with y'all? Like, what do you mean? But seeing sometimes people are happy for you when we're all doing this together,
Right.
and we know we got this going and everything's happening, and then you might just get a little bit of favor shown to you, and you step up, and now you got just a little bit more, or your circumstances change a little bit, and not everybody's clapping.
Mm-hmm.
And I never understood that because I was always happy for other people to either achieve their dreams or do something that they wanted to do. It had nothing to
It
do
had
with
nothing to
me.
do with you.
The first time that I think I really felt that is that when I got engaged. Yeah, and it was like a strange thing because people were, some of the people that I thought would be very excited weren't. They were just kind of passive, like, oh, we'll see if this happens, like type of thing, like, oh, wait,
They didn't
what?
want you to lead that single life.
I guess. And then other of my friends were just elated, like, oh my gosh, he's such a great guy, and da 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 da. So you start to pay attention to those things because I think at that point, I was what, probably my late 20, I think it's 29 or 30, something like that.
Hmm.
But it's like when you're finally trying to establish your own stuff, do your
Right.
own thing, and really build. So it was weird because at that point we were all doing everything together and everybody's going on, to get along, but not everybody was happy for you. And I'm like, okay.
Okay.
But I never have that with friends or even people I don't know, really, because it just doesn't bother me. It doesn't affect me at all. And if anything, I get excited because I'm like, if you can do it, so can I. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
So it opens up opportunities. But that's pretty awesome. Like you mentioned, mentorship. I think one of the things I really enjoyed in real estate is mentorship.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
You were
what
a coach in real
Yeah,
estate.
I was a
Yes.
coach, and what I did was I worked with agents that were new agents that to help them get to their first four transactions. And you don't realize how many limiting beliefs people have until they share it with you. And it sounds crazy to you, but they believe it with their whole heart.
They whole heart.
Whole heart. I'm like, well, I can't do that because I've never been over in that city. Like, I've never been to Woodridge, so I don't know. You know what I mean? So
I can't get a house because I don't have a husband.
exactly.
Oh my goodness.
Or everybody in my family tree has to now check the box and say that they agree before I can agree to like this house. Like, what is happening here? People get in their own heads, and you kind of have to, I don't want to say be strong willed, but you really have to understand your why. And you have to understand that even though sometimes people give you advice, they, and I don't think sometimes people don't maliciously steer people the wrong way.
No.
It's just that what their experience is different than yours. So they're trying to protect you from making a mistake, even though the circumstances are not the
They're
same.
not the same. Yeah.
So yeah, so it's really interesting to watch people function and how people celebrate the people that are close to them,
Yeah.
or
And
not,
or not. Or not.
or
Definitely
not.
or not. My mother used to always say, never be jealous of anybody of what they have
Mm-hmm.
because you don't know what they did to get it and what they got to do to keep it.
That is so true.
And that has resonated with me for my whole life. So when people, have big houses and, this and all the cars and everything, have you seen the price of a car? I'm happy for you. I'm
Right.
glad you can do it, but I'm saving my money to do something different. When I retire, I want to be retired and I want to be able to live. So you go ahead and get your BMW and your Mercedes, and I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
But I'm going to stay in my space and my realm,
And do what you like
and
to
do
do.
what I like to do. So having friends too, as you get older too, you find a tribe of people who you just really kind of click with, who will be
Mm-hmm.
truthful to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can be truthful with them,
Yes.
and they celebrate your wins, and they're there for when things are not good.
Mm-hmm.
And when you want to be honest with yourself, nobody really has a lot of friends.
Right.
That circle is very small.
Mm-hmm.
I have maybe 3 to 4 really, really good friends.
So I have. So this is funny. So this, when you said that, it made me think of one of one of my girlfriends. So funny story. We were getting ready to go on a trip. We were going to Texas, I believe, and we were driving. Crazy. Never again. But
I'm going to go to Oklahoma in a car, so don't say that. Go
so
ahead.
we driving. T, I believe, was working nights at the time or something, but he was laying down taking a nap. We went to go get the rental car. So I had this great idea that I was gonna get me and the kids. We were gonna load the car so we could get up. We could just hit the road, whatever. I don't know how I did this, but literally, I was backing. We had a minivan. I was backing the minivan up, and I opened the door to see if I was close to the garage or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't. So I pulled it kind of close. Not close it completely, but pulled it kind of close. So I started backing up. But what ended up happening, the mirror caught this thing hanging on the garage. So then that pulled the door open. So it hit the garage door and bent the door the opposite way. So this minivan's got the door hanging like this, and I'm like, oh my god! The kids run in the house. They're like, oh my god, what's happening? So I was like, I cannot wait to you, because first of all, it's gonna be like, what are you doing? So I was like, okay, I gotta fix this. So I called one of my girlfriends and I said, hey, I need you to take me to O'Hare right now, because I was like, I'm gonna just say, you know what? I had an accident in this car, which I did. Okay. Do insurance. We're just gonna get another van. It's gonna be all good. So she's like, okay, I'll be there in 10 minutes. Right. So she gets in the car and I laughed, and when she pulled up, I got in the car and I said, you didn't even ask me like what happened. She was like, nah, because you don't really ask for nothing. And if you said something you need to be there, then I knew it had to be important.
That's right.
But we laugh about that because when you really are friends with someone and someone understands your intentions and who you are, I know that if one of my friends asks me for something, now the people that are close to me, if they ask me for something, it's gonna be a reason behind it. Mm-hmm. So I don't mind helping people or sharing with people. But on the flip side of that, you have some people who are like, well, I feel like since you have it, I should have it too. And I'm like, wait a minute, I need you to back up and not count my pockets, because like you said, you don't know what I have coming in or going out of this household. Right. You might see on the outside, but that doesn't mean that you can put your claim in on any of this.
That's right.
So how would you say, or what have you had an instance where you've had to have leave someone or have a friend or leave a tribe that just no longer served you where you were currently at?
Yeah. I don't know who's gonna watch this.
No, I don't know who's you don't have to say anything specific. But just what were some of the things that made you, like, in your mind, be like, yeah, this isn't gonna work?
I think it's back to what you said, just assuming what I have, what I could do for them. And then when you turn things around and you see when you need them, they're not really there. But when you need me, I will drop everything and I'm here.
Yes.
And it's not reciprocated. And that's a hurtful feeling. Especially especially when the friendship has been for many years.
Yes.
Right. Yes. And then you realize that people are jealous of you. You don't even know how you got there.
Right.
Because you're like, what happened? I don't even know what happened, you know. And you just have to let it go.
Yes.
You have to set boundaries with people. And you just have to step it back. If I'm always calling you and you never checking on me.
Oh, that's a good test.
I can't.
Yes.
And and then when I do call, we may talk for hours, and have a good time. But then you never call and check on me.
Right. Right.
And it's like, okay, so now I'm learning I just got to step back and let it
Mm-hmm.
be.
Mm-hmm.
Because people will do what they want to do. People make time for people who are important to them.
They do.
And I shouldn't have to always initiate everything in this friendship. So I got more years behind me than in front of me. So let me say this I don't have time for it now. So
Yes.
when I say my crew is small and
Mm-hmm.
they are ride or die, and I got a couple of ride or die crazy cousins
Mm-hmm. That's
that
a
come and check on me, that's my family. That's
yes.
what I need. That's who.
And I think too, it's strange when you think about it, but a lot of times the people, like you said, that have been friends with you for over the years,
Mm-hmm.
you would be like, oh, you know what? We've been friends since elementary school or middle school or whatever it may be. We have this long history. Those are going to be the ones that I could call first. I find a lot of times it's the opposite. And I think sometimes what that is that people don't want to reflect on their decision making
Mm-hmm.
or their lack of growth.
That lack of growth.
So they can't appreciate to see what you're doing and they kind of feel left behind. So
Yeah.
then it becomes more of a back and forth than a celebration.
Yes, absolutely. And I think mentors have been big in my life. I have met some dynamic women
Mm-hmm.
who have really helped me to mature in my path of leadership,
Mm-hmm.
in extending grace. Just
Yes.
telling me, Monique, um, you just got to step back sometime. As you know, I have lost both of my parents, and that was a very difficult time. And I had some wonderful mentors who just taught me, you got to sit in it for a while, you got to deal with it. And when you're ready, when you're ready to get back out, and be with
Yeah.
people and do things, it'll come. But you take the time to mourn and do what you have, do what
Mm-hmm.
you have to do to make you well.
Right.
And I have one mentor who she'll call me and say, Mo, is all is well. And I
Mm-hmm.
say, all is well. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been, oh my goodness, the women in my life have been just phenomenal.
That's one of the things I think that has been for me. I've moved around a lot. When I was in California, when I first moved here, when I moved to California, I was able to find, I had two really good friends. One was Rhonda. We're still friends to this day. And the other one was Michael Moore. And what was funny was it wasn't just that I was friends with them. I was like an extension of their family.
Okay.
Their family was like my family because they knew I didn't have holidays, I didn't have things like that. So they'd be like, and Michael's dad used to call me Little Bit. He'd be like, what Little Bit on Sunday morning? We doing Sunday dinner. Like, where is this? What's going on? And it was just like his brothers were my brothers. And the same thing with Rhonda with her family. And it just was an extension. I have a large but small family. It's just myself and my sister, but my mom has 11 brothers and sisters.
Wow.
So when we were younger, our friends were our cousins, and we were like, we spent the night over our aunt's or uncle house. That was it. Like, and so I got older. I'm like, wait, what? Like, people go over to houses. Like, what is this? So that was a norm for me, the dinners and things like that. And we still to this day keep in touch. They check in on me and checking on their kids. I know them as well. But it was like I said, it was just a place where they brought me in and were able to support me in areas that I was brand spanking new. They were both natives of California. I didn't know anyone from there. So they were like, okay, we're gonna go here, do this, do that. And I just kind of fell in sync and was just able to grow with them. So I think that it's important to be able to find people that are like-minded, that have your best
They have your
interests.
best interest. That's right.
And sometimes they can see stuff that you don't see. Like you don't even know what what that you don't even know that you're about to step off the edge until they're like, hold on, don't move just yet. Let me
Right.
just tell you something. So I think that's important in being able to trust and also being able to trust your intuition. Um, I won't say that I'm not friendly. I am a friendly person, meaning
Once you
I
get
like
to
what,
know you.
yes, but I'm not the person that's like, hey, let's do here, let's go here, let's do that. Like I'm not that.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I think that can be misconstrued as to like what
Yeah.
my personality is. But the people that I have that are close to me, I'm close
You're
to.
close to.
Hmm.
So, do you have any mentors in real estate?
You know what? No. The the people that I had as mentors, I think when I first started, I'm in a different space now. So now that I am looking, I think some of my mentors or people that I look at towards mentorship are not necessarily in real estate, but they're more business owners.
Right.
So, yep. So, more of that leadership and sharing information that way of how they've navigated leadership, how they've navigated starting a business, funding, growing spaces, things of that nature.
Yeah.
But not
Well, you my
necessarily.
mentor in real estate.
No, you are. No, Monique can get you together with a look. I'll be, or she'll do this because my face will tell it.
Yes,
Will tell it
her
all.
face does tell, and mine does too. I try to check it a little bit, but Alita will look at you like
Because
that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. So why would you even say it?
Yeah, I have a very low tolerance for fluff. So I'm like, tell me the thing, tell me what you need to know, what you want. Let's go. Let's do it. Like I don't need all the backstory. Just give it to me straight.
That's funny because when I used to be in project management, I used to say bottom line. I don't stop going up and down,
yes,
all around.
Mm-mm.
Just give it to me straight. Yeah.
I even do that with my kids. I'll be like, so what do you want? And I'll be like, Mom, I just want to tell you. And I'm like, okay, let me back down a little bit and listen to this.
Let them be.
And I'm sitting there like biting my tongue, like, okay. Then I'm like, all right, okay, what do you want?
What do you want?
Yeah.
Yeah. But they got to get it out.
Yes.
Yes. So what was I going to say? Are there friends now that you've had for a very long time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got friends that I've had for a long time, and then also, cousins. We got a gang of cousins. So
the cousins are your first friends.
They definitely are, and we laugh and talk about it because I have a couple cousins that I grew up with that were like 4 or 5 years older than me. So I used to be like, how am I getting tested? Like they'll do something and they'd be like, and you, would you get to say it? I'm like, hold on. Like,
right.
I had nothing to do with this.
Right.
Like, what is going on? Why am I getting chastised because of them? Like, what's going on? So we laugh and talk about that. So yeah, I do. I have, and it's funny because I have one of my really good friends I met when I first moved here, and she was my hairdresser. And then we became really good friends. We became roommates. She was in my wedding. Okay. She was in my kids. Like, so it's like we've been friends forever. Same similar story. Her family functions, I was at her family functions as well. So I know all of her family. She's part of my family. My mom and dad still ask about how's she doing. She's relocated now out of Illinois, but they're like, how's she doing? What's going on? So we still check in on each other. We talk on a regular basis. So yeah, and that's the one person that'll be like, why are you playing? Like, just do the thing. Like, you're second guessing yourself. Like, you are better than this. Like, just go. I'm like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I have a couple of cousins that are 5 to 6 years older than me. And one of them used to live with us for a while. And she used to tell everybody she raised me. And my mother would get so angry over that. And I'm like, Mom, why do you let that bother you? You know she didn't raise me. Right. And so, but to this day, she calls me every morning at 9 a.m. Check on me. You headed to work? What you doing? What you got going on? And it may only be 7 to 10 minutes because she's working, but she checks in on me to make sure that, because she knows the things that I take on, and she just like, I'm just making sure you good, and so I love that. And then Leslie.
Yes.
And Leslie and I are like sisters. And she's that, and my cousin Fran. They are my ride or die cousins. Will roll up on you in a minute. So that's great. And then I have good friends. And, I found that in starting this business too, though, I don't have time for the chit chat and the extras. Yes. Right. And so, sometimes they'll call me like, I haven't heard from you. I'm like, I'm on a path. And I'm on a mission and I'm focused, laser focused, right? So what we've done is we have check-in days.
Oh, that's good.
So one of them is Thursday and one of them is Tuesday,
Uh-huh.
and we check in with each other. You good? What's
Mhm.
going on? Wrap up, unless we have what we call petty Betty moments. Now I will answer the phone for a petty Betty moment.
Oh yeah, everybody needs those.
But everybody needs that. But for the most part, and then that's our way of connecting and them knowing, I'm
Mhm.
not neglecting the friendship, but they understand and support me in what I'm doing.
Yes.
And they get it.
Mm-hmm.
And so those are the types of people who, that you want in your circle.
Yes, because we have a running joke that I used to do Christmas cookies. So everybody got a bag that the cookies, whatever. So when we had our Christmas get together, they're like, we had cookies, and I'm like, yeah, I might not be getting cookies for a while.
I got things to do.
Like, I'm like, I don't have those. I don't have those Thursday evenings where I'm baking all the cookies for everyone and the kids, teachers, and coaches, and all that. I'm like, people getting gift cards and store bought stuff right now, right? Just because of the moment.
Just because.
Still love y'all, but yeah, those check-ins, those texts, just to say, hey, I'm checking in. I've been busy, but this is, or let's just grab breakfast. Let's grab, check in.
Just to check, right?
And there's no animosity. Like, it's not personal. It's just the things sometimes they're in stuff where they're, have time constraints and things, deadlines for work, kids are in things. So I get it. Life
be life. And
yes, it does.
It most definitely
does. But you can't take that personal at all.
You cannot. So has there been somebody that you had to step away from? I know you asked me that.
Oh yeah. See, one thing.
Oh my
one
goodness.
thing you will find out. My cutoff game is strong. We could be sitting across from each other, and it's like you're not even there. Like, okay. I will no, because I don't have the space or time for it. There's been several people that I may or may not have seen eye to eye on. Don't necessarily know what the issue was, but sometimes people have expressed they've had an issue with me through other people.
Really?
And I'm like, I didn't even know we had an issue. So if your issue was that strong that you didn't feel like you needed to talk to me,
then
okay, then it's not even an issue. So since I'm gonna do you one better. We don't even know each other, so let's just end this here. And I don't say anything else. I don't acknowledge them, and it is over. That has happened on several occasions. Well, I won't say several. A few different occasions through over the years.
A few is like 3, several is like 5. So where we?
We're about a 3 between the 3 and 5.
4 good people been cut off for sure.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm just like, yeah, because one, I do think that in certain relationships and some things that it deserves a conversation. And there has been instances we've had a conversation and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not. This doesn't serve me well. This is not what happened. No, we're done.
So you don't have any problem with your supporting your protecting your boundaries.
I do not. I do not. I'm like, no, we're not doing that anymore. And cut, you're gone. You're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I may give you a conversation or two, and I do try, because I'm like, well, especially if we've had a friendship for a while. Mm-hmm. But me and one of my good friends, we have a running joke. Baby, on January 1st, I'm like, I'm looking at the list to see if you deserve another year of friendship. And we do that every year. And so that's our little running joke. But it is a way for us too to check in and say, mm-hmm. How are you? How are things going? And just being committed and true to each other in a friendship, because friendships are work. All relationships are work. I was just about
to say that. Yes, they are.
Whether it's your children, your spouse,
and it's
your
parents, be mutual.
It's got to be mutual, and it has to be a mutual respect there. So, I don't know.
What would you say? You've mentioned a couple instances where you've shown grace, and you actually have been someone has shown you grace. Mm-hmm. When you are, I guess, interacting with people that may not currently be in your friend group, so people that you're now coming in encounter with, what are some of the things or traits that you look for somebody to be part of your tribe?
They have to be very trustworthy. I have to. I have good intuition. Um, the first
You
time
do.
you really lie to me, baby, it's you talking about cutting somebody loose. Yeah, I can't stand that.
Especially when it's not even
It's not
warranted.
even
Like
necessary.
it's not even warranted.
People
Like,
lie for
why
just
would you
stupid
just tell me
reasons.
this?
It's
Like,
just yeah,
yeah.
you know. So it's that trustworthiness.
Mm-hmm.
It's what else do I look for in friendships? I like people who are authentic, just
Mm-hmm.
being who they are. So my friend, I want to say my friend, and she gonna know who she is that I check in with every year because we do a little joke thing. She loves everybody. I call her Kumbaya. It's just everybody come. Ooh, Monique, we're gonna have everybody come together. And I'm like, no, because I'm not gonna watch what I say. I am who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have time for that.
Mm-hmm.
And you know XYZ don't care for me. And guess what? I don't care for them. So I'm gonna pass on that. But that's who she is.
Right.
And so when she fine, but she also knows who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not so when you ask me that, I don't want to have to watch what I say in front of you. And not that I'm saying something crazy to offend people,
but yeah.
But just, how sometimes there's people you have to tiptoe around,
right.
And I'm like,
people don't receive stuff.
They don't
the same
receive
way.
stuff, and they
or
take
like,
it
are you talking
personally.
about me, or is this the general?
Yeah,
like what's happening? Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
so I ain't even gonna go there with that one. But there was an incident one time. We were standing in line somewhere, and it was just a woman I didn't even really know, but me and another lady were laughing, and she was like, "Are you laughing at me? Are you laughing at me?" And I'm like, "Lady, I don't even know you. We are standing
actually
in a
now
line
I am
to get some food at a buffet, and you asking me, do I?" So those type of people that are needy, I can't do the needy.
I agree.
Right? You always need something. No.
The needy and the woe is me.
And well, let me tell you what happened. And then let me show you that. Yeah, no, I don't have time for that.
No, I agree.
Now, those are the things that would drive me through the roof.
Yes.
Yeah.
So. Mm-hmm. No, I'm with you on that one.
So, well,
let's see. So I think we kind of covered it. So
our
tribe is small but tight.
It's small but tight. Yeah.
We're looking at, we've changed some things over the years, been given grace.
Yes.
And have extended grace as well.
Yes.
So we would love to hear from you in situations that you may have about your tribe, about if you've had grace extended to you, or if you have been the one that's been extending grace. Feel free to let us know. We would love to hear those stories. You can like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and our YouTube channel, which is going to be Grace Over Grit and Growth. We look forward to tuning in next time. We'll see you soon.
Take care. Bye-bye.